Hello, welcome back. Today I got a nice decent stack again. I just got my dogs put away and my night is nice and relaxing again. Just like always. So I fire on the camera. Just gonna get right into it here because I have 9 movies to get through. So my first one here, this is Doom on 4K. Now, I know this isn't a very liked movie. Even The Rock himself has come out and disowned it. But I'm gonna be honest, I actually have some fun with this, and I think some of the scenery, because it's based on a video game. This is the extended edition as well, 4K Blu-ray digital. Looks beautiful on 4K. Sounds awesome. I have some fun with it because, they try to be as close to the video game as they can. And, I grew up loving Doom. It was a freaking awesome game. Played it hours upon hours upon hours. All of the Dooms, actually. And there's, a section in this with Carl Urban where he goes into first-person shooter mode. And you're seeing through his eyes, and they're trying to do unique, cool stuff. I get it. It's not great, but I don't know. I've had fun with it. I think all the acting's pretty solid for the most part. The Rock does a pretty good job, this being one of his first movie roles. He didn't have a whole lot before this one. I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's a good grab on 4K. Who put this out, actually? It's a pretty solid looking 4K. What company is this? 1 second. This is... That's weird. It doesn't even really say anywhere. Oh, it's Universal. Yeah, Universal usually does pretty solid 4Ks. What I've seen. But yeah, fun stuff. Anybody that's played a Doom game, or if you've seen this, obviously, it's just a bunch of space marines basically, and they land on a planet that has some problems, and it ends up being demons / aliens, demons technically. Yeah, it's fun stuff. And then I'm going to jump over to another 4K, Alien. This is an alien invasion film. This is the remake of War of the Worlds with Miranda Otto and Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning and Tim Robbins. This was directed by Spielberg, right? Spielberg as the director. I love this movie. I think it's just so well done. All the acting is excellent. Tom Cruise's son gets annoying in the movie. He has a couple moments where you kind of want to climb through and punch him in the face. But other than that, it's pretty solid. It's just that moment. But there's great scenery. This 4K is really beautiful too. Sounds awesome. Yeah, all the transfer and everything is good there, so I don't need to do any talking. It's excellent 4K. Must grab on 4K. But yeah, this is awesome. It starts out, most people have seen this, so I don't need to do deep explainers, but I mean, Tom Cruise picks up his kids and brings them to his house, and he's trying to bond with his children. Him and his wife are divorced. And all hell breaks loose, basically. It's just, it starts rolling in. I love, when it begins. I always love the beginning of alien invasion movies, where it's first getting started. I find that some of the most interesting parts of alien invasion movies, where it's just, the build-up, and then the actual invasion. And then giant tripods. They're actually quite creepy, especially in the scene where they're trying to get on the ferry to cross over, and the frickin' thing's coming under the water. It's pretty creepy. Yeah, it's not really a horror movie, but it is. Like, these things are chewing people up and fucking drinking their blood and spitting out their leftovers. And awesome ending. You have to check out War of the Worlds if you haven't seen it. This is another must-see. Especially on this 4K, it's really nice. Next up here, this is just one of my all-time favorite comedies. I decided to throw it in and just have some good laughs. Like, this is delivered probably 30, 40 times I've watched this. This is the original Dumb and Dumber with Carrie and Jeff Daniels. Frickin' just excellent. I know so many people that hate this movie and just don't really like Jim Carrey's style of comedy, to be honest. I always loved it. I just love his goofy slapstick style where everything's just like he's a 14-year-old, basically. I enjoy it. How many frickin' like lines does this movie deliver? Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? Ah, like I can't even do it. How bad that is. Fucking Mockingbird song they sing. Oh man, the scenes are endless in this. I love when they first arrive in in Aspen, and Jeff Daniels' hands are like frozen solid, and Jim Carrey's like, "Well, here, have my extra pair of gloves." Just so many good scenes. They get the money. Their suits are legendary. It's just endless. If you haven't seen Dumb and Dumber, like, what's the matter with you? Like, get out there and watch some damn movies, because this is a must-watch comedy classic. I even like the storyline. Like, I actually think it's got some heart and some like soul to it. I love the fight, the snowball fight Jeff Daniels gets in with the woman. What's her name? I haven't seen her in a ton of stuff. The heck is her name? Lauren Holly. Where he's like wings a snowball at her. It's right in the frickin' head. It's like it's the epitome of dumb comedy. It's right in the title. Next up here, I have Willy's Wonderland. This is just the Blu-ray. I didn't upgrade to the 4K. To be honest, this Blu-ray looks perfectly fine. I don't actually think I'm going to spend the $45 they want for the 4K. It's these more modern movies, like, they're like shot digitally, and the Blu-rays already look pretty phenomenal and sound awesome. I don't understand why Scream Factory would decide to throw that on 4K, but whatever, it is what it is. If you've never bought the movie before, then that's obviously the best way to buy it. Grab the 4K. But I think if you have the Blu-ray, it's probably good enough, especially for a movie of this caliber. Like, this is B movie, but I loved it. I love that Nicolas Cage doesn't speak a word in the movie. It's basically a silent film for him. It is just a Five Nights at Freddy's clone. Pretty much the same, sort of. Like, it's along the exact same lines. But I love all the scenes. Like, when he's killing the puppets, or the animatronics, that they do a good job at the filming there. And then he just goes back and plays pinball till the time's up. It's just it's a cool premise. Just kind of mysterious. You don't really know who he is, why he's there, what's going on. It's fun. It's a fun movie. It's not the greatest, but it's worthy of a watch. Oh yeah, I forgot to rank all these. So Doom, I would give a 2.5 for the film. When I do my rankings, it's not for the quality of the 4K and stuff like that. That's taken into consideration. But like those would all have to be separate ratings. This is just like how much I personally like the movie. It's not a critical review either. It's like just my personal opinion. War of the Worlds, this I would give a 4, maybe even a 4.5. Dumb and Dumber for me would be a 5. This, to me, this is like a top 50 comedy of all time. Probably even higher for me than top 50. It's probably like top 20. And then Willy's Wonderland, I'd probably give a 2.5 as well, just for its fun scenes. I enjoy that. Next up this is one of my favorite movies of all time. This would be in my top 50 films ever made, which is shocking to a lot of people, and that's Hot Fuzz from Edgar Wright. I believe this is his follow-up to Shaun of the Dead. Just phenomenal. Like, I love everything about this movie. This blends, it's mostly an action movie, but it blends horror elements in it as well. Like, everybody in the town is, spoilers a little bit on this one. Everybody in the town is like part of a cult to keep their town the greatest town in the nation, and all of like Europe, basically, England, or wherever it takes place. I'll just go with Europe. I don't remember the exact location. Excellent scenes throughout this. To me, this is both Nick Frost and Simon Pegg's best acting, best comedy, best roles of their careers. I like this more than Shaun of the Dead. This is a 5 from me. Just everything. Like, I know a lot of the scenes seem like he's just redoing Shaun of the Dead, and in a way it is a lot like almost some of the scenes are identical, but to me they're just adding another layer of comedy. Like when Simon Pegg's like a super cop, and he comes to us, anybody hasn't seen, I'll give a little sum up here. He's like a super cop, and he comes to a small village. He gets relocated there because he's such a good cop that the other cops in the big city don't even want him working in there no more because he's making them all look bad. And so they transfer him out into the country, and there ends up being like a massive cult, serial killing, a huge case basically. And he partners up with Nick Frost, and they just deliver they just play so perfect off each other. It's like, this is the perfect buddy cop movie. One of the best of the modern times, like from in the 2000s on to now. To me, this is, well, it's one of the greatest buddy cop movies ever made, in my opinion. Maybe even my favorite. But it's definitely a top of the 2000s and 2010s and everything, 2020s. But yeah, I'll give a couple of my favorite scenes. I love when Simon Pegg's telling an insane story in the pub, and he's telling Nick Frost this really serious, sad story, and it's really somber, and he's just like this, and then Nick Frost's character grabs a packet of ketchup and holds it to his eye and stabs himself in the eye with a fork, and blood just splatters everywhere, and Simon Pegg can't help but to finally laugh for basically the first time in the movie because he's so serious. And there's just little parts like that throughout the whole thing. I love the part where Simon Pegg's like, he's running and jumping over the fences, and the last one he does like a fucking somersault over it, and then Nick Frost is looking at it, and then he goes running to jump the fence, he just falls through the fence. Shit like that, just fucking excellent. Absolutely love it. Timothy Dalton, one of the James Bonds, is in this, does an excellent job. I love every scene that he's in. You got Garp, the Hound from Game of Thrones. He's like basically a big dummy in the movie. Just excellent performances from everybody. If you haven't seen Hot Fuzz, you owe it to yourself for some good laughs and just a solid action horror movie. Freaking excellent. Next up, I have, this is another great comedy. This is Without a Paddle. Remake to Up the Creek Without a Paddle, I believe the original's called. Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, Dak Shepard. Just like a friendship, bonding, nature adventure movie where these three guys just go on a little adventure in tribute to their friend that just died, and crazy shit happens to them on the adventure. It's classic comedy like that. I enjoy this every time I watch it. It's just a feel-good... Sorry, I could get a yawn in here. It's really late. I'm recording this. Like I said on my last episode, my daughter's leaving tomorrow morning to go camping, so I had to stay up really late to record this episode and get it up before she leaves. But, yeah, Without a Paddle. Like, if you haven't seen it, just watch it. It's just a fun, like, bromance, just happy movie. Makes you feel good. Now I got 3 more here for this episode. This next one, this is on 4K. This is the first movie that me and my wife seen in the theater together, because I'm a huge fan of Eminem, and that's 8 Mile. I'm also a huge fan of this movie. So much heart in this. Like, it just, I don't know. It's why I think Eminem's the greatest rapper of all time, and it's just, he feels like if you deep dive on his albums, obviously if you only listen to his pop hits that he's putting out to sell, to get you to buy his albums, then he's not that deep. But if you listen to the entirety of his albums, he's a really emotional, serious dude that has a lot to say. And this movie, he portrays it so perfectly. Just emotional and caring and down on his luck and grow up in a hard place. And I don't know, it feels almost like an autobiography. I think that's kind of what it is, of his own personal life. But just excellent. Music's awesome. I think he won an Oscar for Lose Yourself. Pretty sure that's the song he won the Oscar for. Yeah. Was it? Yeah. Had to be Lose Yourself, right? But yeah, just an excellent movie. It's a great, like, just real life story movie. Like, it just feels like it feels true, and just a dude trying to make it, basically. Love it. Love 8 Mile. This 4K looks and sounds perfect as well. Never need to grab that one again. And then second last here, this is from Scream Factory. This is April Fool's Day. I don't know if Scream Factory's put this out in 4K yet. I don't think so. But it just comes with the Blu-ray, right? Yeah, just the Blu-ray on this one. But yeah, this is a hard movie to talk about without spoiling. It's just a solid slasher movie with a lot of good kills. Some pretty solid gore. 1986, this one came out. It's hard to talk about this without spoiling it at all. So I'll just leave it at that. It's a great slasher movie with some good gore, good kills. It's got a pretty cool storyline. I like the ending. The ending's hit or miss for some people, say that. Like, you're either gonna love it or like it, or you're gonna absolutely hate it. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I think this is a classic from the 80s. Needs to be seen. You, can't remember the fucking name of the main girl in this. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Her name's not on the back either. I'll have to look it up when I'm done this episode, because that'll annoy me all night. But yeah, grab April Fool's Day. I don't know if Scream Factory's put it on 4K yet. If not, they probably will soon, because that's what they're doing now. They got you to buy all their nice Blu-rays and got everybody to collect the slip covers and pay ridiculous amounts for them, and now they're just re-releasing them all on 4K, which I appreciate. I hate out-of-print shit. Like, constantly release stuff and put it back out so that it's always in circulation, so I don't have to pay fucking $80 for a movie that you can't get. I love that. And then my final one for this episode. This is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Personal favorites. And that's Watchmen. On 4K here. This is the complete cut, so it includes the animated, what the fuck was the name of that? Oh my goodness. The Tales of the Black Freighter. It includes it right in the movie, so you don't click on it. This edition is what, like 4 hours? The ultimate cut is 215 minutes, and it does include the director's cut as well, which cuts that out, so it's down to like 2.5 hours. But yeah, this is a beast edition. It comes with 1, 2, 3 discs inside here. So you got the complete story on 4K. You have the director's cut on Blu-ray. And then you have underneath that an entire disc of bonus features. I have watched this particular 4K 4 times since I bought this movie. This is how much I love this movie. I love everything about this movie. I think the music is phenomenal. I think the acting is phenomenal. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. I think the graphics and the way it's shot is just top notch. 5 out of 5. This is what's his name too, right? Zack Snyder, yes. Blank on his name there for a minute. Jesus. And he has a certain style, and he brings that on full display in this. I absolutely love the storyline. I think everyone knocks it out of the fucking park. The comedian, oh my god, how am I blanking on these guys? This guy, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, plays the comedian. Excellent character. He's just such a fucking asshole, but yet you like him at the same time. Like, it's just a weird storyline with him. Rorschach, phenomenal. Best acting of his career. That's the guy that plays... Oh, sorry, I'm blanking on all these names right now. I'm in a bad name moment. Jackie Earle Haley plays Rorschach. He's the guy that played Freddy in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which was horrendous. But this is him acting on a different level, in my opinion. Malin Ackerman and Patrick Wilson both do excellent jobs as Night Owl and what the hell's her character name? You think I'd know this after seeing this movie 1,000 times? I do know all these things. I'd have to sit here and think about it for a minute until it pops in my head. Awesome. Man, I love the ending storyline. I just love how it's like the 2 minutes to midnight Cold War kind of story. Like, this blends alternate reality and alternate history so well together, and then throws its own twists on. And I think Billy Crudup does an excellent job as Dr. Manhattan. Some of the scenes with Dr. Manhattan, they bring like goosebumps to my freaking whole body. Like this is, if I was doing my top 100 films of all time list, which I want to do eventually. It's hard for me to do that. But like personal favorites, top 100 of all time, this I can probably say is in my top 10 favorite films ever made of all time, which is saying a lot. I've seen a lot of fucking movies. But this would definitely have to be in there. I love everything about it. And this 4K is like reference quality stuff. The sound on this fucking thing rumbles. It gives your speakers a workout. The picture, obviously, phenomenal shit. This is DC Comics as well. Who wrote this? Was it Frank Miller? Damn. I have the comic book. Jesus. 1 second. Sorry, I'm gonna grab my comic for a second because I can't remember. Alan Moore. Alan Moore's the writer here. I only have the comic in soft cover. It's like that thick. Show this off. I've read this multiple times too. I might as well give this a show while I'm here too. One of Time Magazine's 100 best novels of all time. But yeah, this is classic, so it's done on a classic paper feel here. Looks absolutely phenomenal. I'll flip through here till I find. No, yeah, the artwork's pretty much the same throughout the whole book. Just, it's beautiful stuff. Absolutely awesome. Tried watching the new TV show. It was too modernized for me, I guess I could say. I don't know. It's hard when they're doing something that's like your favorite, one of your favorite movies of all time, and they turn it into a TV show. It's never gonna live up to your expectations. I get it. The TV show is what it is because it is alternate history, so they can do whatever they want, put their own twists on things. But I just found it too, like, just all the modern cliches. Gotta have this, gotta have that, gotta touch this thing, gotta touch that thing. Just one of those things that I've complained about 100 times in my episodes, where it feels like they care more about who's in the movie than the actual movie or TV show. We hit all these check boxes, that's good enough. Whatever. That's why it's my biggest problem with those things. Is that's what they always feel like. But yeah, you can't touch this movie. And this comic is phenomenal too. If you don't have Watchmen, definitely pick this up. It's a worthy read. Excellent ending. Obviously, I can't say excellent score, but it's hard because when I read the comic now, the score from the movie's in my head, so it actually makes the comic even better for me. I'm like, ooh, yeah, this part. But yeah, if you haven't seen Watchmen, a must grab on 4K. Great stuff. There's my pile for today. Pretty decent shit here. I think the lowest I had was a couple 2.5s. All the way up to Watchmen's a 5 from me. 8 Miles a 5 from me. Hot Fuzz is a 5 from me. Dumb and Dumber and War of the Worlds, 4.5s. And then you have, like, April Fool's Day, I'd probably give like a 3.5. 3.5 to Without a Paddle, and then 2.5s for this episode. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I'm trying to keep my episodes short and sweet because I know people don't have a ton of time to sit there and listen to you talk for an hour or so. So I just try to keep it like 20 to 40 minutes area. And plus, to be honest, that's all I can really watch in the little amount of time I have in between episodes. It's hard to pump out more than like 8 movies in 2 days. 4 days, quite a bit. So yeah, thank you for joining me yet again. And I will talk to you in a couple days.